Sports Walk is back. Watch Season 2 of Backpack Broadcasting's original web series that brings you the opinions of real sports fans. The entire first season and current season are available now on the Sports Walk YouTube channel and Facebook page. Check out the 2017 NYC WebFest official selection and see what other sports fans have to say on the hottest issues in sports today. It's easy. Just take the Sports Walk.
Hi, this is Howard Beck from Bleacher Report. You are watching the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast.
From the Gotham Podcast studio, Dexter, Henry, Bryan, Fonseca, the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. And we have a guest today in the building. Very happy. We've been trying to get this guy on here
Don't mess up the
for
name.
quite some time. Josue Pavon. I didn't even ask
Is
the
it
last.
Is it Pavon?
It's Pavon.
Pavon, I knew
Pavon.
it. You should have let me say it.
Josue Pavon. Yeah, bro, I thought you would get on that.
Yeah.
I thought you would be all over
No,
that.
but Dexter's
Josue
the professional here, so he does the intro
Clearly
and
not.
things like
Clearly
that.
not with the Latino names.
Nah, he's the lead. He's the lead. That's cool.
Right.
That's cool.
Well,
We got it down.
I told you before, Josue. I never want to mess up anybody's
Yeah.
name. Never want to disrespect
I
them.
appreciate
in
you.
Yeah,
that,
and I
in that
say,
kind of way.
and you say Josue, I say Josue because I'm Puerto Rican. It's a habit.
Right.
I have an uncle who's named Josue. It's
Ah.
the same way. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's where that kind
Yeah.
of crosses over. Writer at WEEI, and
Yes.
I have to first ask you how.
What do you mean how? What do
You know
think?
what I'm talking
they
about.
They do hire minorities, Brian, if that's what you alluded to, all right? All right?
Yo, I'm
There's Michael Hawley,
Michael
and then
Hawley
there's
is there.
Josue Pavon. I mean, they hire minorities from time to time.
They do.
Every decade or so.
So I was happy.
Yo, but you know what's funny is that
That's
because
funny. That's all I got. Michael
Yo,
Hawley. That's the only other minority I can think of right now.
I mean, that says a lot, but it's Boston.
we were in, and look,
man.
we
That's a whole nother
we
story.
just love to hate Boston and New York. It's a love. This hate starts with love, so it's okay.
Yeah, I've listened before. You guys, I can feel the hate.
Saw Josue in the media room when the Nets played Celtics. I think it was in January, and we were talking about.
Wait, is this the first time you guys met?
In person, yes. But we have
Okay.
known each other for a while because
Okay.
pregame show.
Right.
and-
So I used to do a pregame report for CLNS Media, which I do video reporting for.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it used to be like a 5-6 minute podcast before every single Celtics game. So I had Bryan on, and it was always just great chemistry, man. I always loved what he had to say. Great, breaking down the Nets and the matchup. So whenever the Celtics play the Nets, I would hit him up like, "Yo, you
Yeah.
trying to do this?"
We kept in
So,
contact. And
yeah,
things
we kept
like
in
that.
contact since.
What I was hoping for and to ask about this was I was hoping that you guys hadn't met before that. So if you saw each other in the media room, it would have been like the only thing like, yo, two Latino reporters, we see each other. Like, I see you, bro. I see you.
I mean,
I see you.
Yeah,
but
that
you know
doesn't
what?
happen
That
often.
kind of
Because
happened.
black people, we do that all the time.
But that does happen. That kind of does happen. Yo, that happened when I
That's
met
true.
Erica Fernandez for the first time.
Yep.
We saw each other in
Yo,
a
nah.
boxing media room. We were like, oh, okay.
I'm not alone.
We got to stick together. But anyway, because we were talking about the whole WEEI thing, and then he was like, damn, you know about that up here?
I do. I mean, I do.
That's what he said. He was like, yeah, bro, we think y'all is wild.
So how did you know? Like, what does that make headway over here in New York?
Well, here to be completely.
What's the headline say? EI might be racist.
No.
Is that the headline?
And I got to give full disclosure here before we get into this.
And by the way, let's say you covered the Boston Celtics.
Yes.
Which, you know.
Well, no. So
come on, man.
I used to work for a
This
company.
years ago.
I used to work for a company that did video with WEEI
Okay.
years ago.
He's
So
worked everywhere.
when I came, they also used to do video for the Boston Globe. So sometimes when I came up to Boston to do some of these videos, I'd work with people from the Boston Globe, Dan Shaughnessy, other guys.
Okay.
And WEEI, some guys too, would also do some video there as well too. And all the time I was there doing work with WEEI, I never saw anybody that looked like us. That's all I'm saying. I never saw that. I never saw it. So when Bryan told me, he's like, yo, WEEI has this reporter, Josue, I'm like, yo.
His name is Josue?
His name's
What?
Josue.
Well, my reaction too.
And he's from Boston?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, yo, it's dope. No, seriously,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's dope.
and let me say this: full time at WEEI.
That's right.
Full time at WEEI.
They ain't jerking him on the pay.
Yo,
Finally get some respect around here.
Yeah, they're not just stringing you along as a freelancer.
no.
You know how that goes.
It started that way. But yeah, I got some respect around it.
I'm still there.
Yes. You'll move out of that.
But that's funny, man. Before the Nets game, literally, what was it, like 10 minutes into the conversation with these guys, they're like, so, WEEI, huh? I'm like, oh man.
It wasn't 10
go.
minutes.
Here we go.
Because I'm quick.
Yeah,
you saw how the podcast
It wasn't
started.
just you either. It was I forget these dudes' name, but I had a great time.
Gerard was there. of
Gerard.
course.
Oh, you met Gerard? Okay.
Man, cool
Yes,
dude.
Gerard was
I like
there.
him.
Darrell was there. The same, the
People
same
we've had on the podcast.
People that I really mess
We was
with.
talking for like an hour before the game, and I'm like, man, I kind of just want to kick it here and watch the game from the break room because these two had me rolling, man. It was a good time.
And Bryan kept it real messy to start it off.
Oh yeah, of course. We was all over the place.
How
We
you
could
feel?
talk about
Nick
that.
Medalinos came through. We were talking about hip hop.
Yeah.
Oh, the hip hop conversation was.
I
needed that.
Now we're gonna get
I needed that.
into all of that.
Yes,
here.
let's
Now,
do it. See, we don't have that at the Celtics beat, man. We don't.
Now, real quick,
Can't talk hip hop with these guys.
No,
Sometimes.
you came to the right place for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Real quick. So first of all, we're just gonna get real quick because we got a lot to get into in terms of what you're doing with the Celtics,
Okay,
stuff
word.
going on in the NBA,
The
my
Knicks.
disdain with the
The
Knicks right
Knicks.
now.
Yes, the Knicks
I
is
just want
heading
to
the headlines right
And
now.
you see, Brian's a person who's always got to try to be messy.
He's so giddy right now.
so
Check him
giddy.
out.
You
so
gotta,
excited.
when he's this giddy,
I've
you
been
have to
waiting
be
for this
scared.
for 48 hours.
Hold on, what are you giddy about though? You got to be giddy about July 1st, so you still got some time to.
No. I'm
To
giddy
cross your
about. I'm
fingers.
giddy about the Porzingis trade. But first of all,
Yes.
Again, going back to the previous question, just sort of how did you do it? Getting into sports journalism and in all cities of doing it in Boston.
What do you mean?
No, I don't mean that in a
City
disrespectful way.
of champs, man. It's a great spot to start off.
I agree, but as we previously alluded to,
It's always gonna come back to this.
there are not a lot of people who look like us up there doing it in media circles.
I
So
gotcha.
you're somewhat of a trailblazer, I
Gotcha.
would
Yeah,
say.
well, I'm trying to change things. Obviously things are a little different at EEI, but I mean for Boston sports in general, with sports journalism. I mean, there's a few guys out there. You got Rod Blakely.
Yep.
Covers the Celtics. Who else? Gary Washburn.
Gary Washburn.
Yeah,
Good
Michael
dude.
Hawley. So
Didn't you
it's,
have at one
you know,
point
it's changing a bit.
Clevis Murray? Was he on
Clevis
the-
Murray,
Clevis
yes,
Murray?
yeah, that's my guy. Yeah,
Didn't
good
you
dude.
have no? Because we follow each other on Twitter. Also.
Yeah,
and I remember
good dude.
seeing a photo of y'all sitting next to each other in a
Yeah,
press
so
room before.
he actually started off with CLNS Media as an intern, and then he went ahead and got hired from The Athletic.
Yeah.
So he's doing his thing with them, and that's my guy. We kick it all the time. But see, that's another guy too. Like I can't even talk hip hop with this guy sometimes. 'Cause these youngsters, man, they just don't know, man.
Oh
They
man.
just don't know.
Oh,
They-
you gonna get to the ages in the hip hop
Yo,
here.
I mean, think about it. This guy is what, 21? He's 21 years old. So I talk about
Still?
legends, and he's just looking at me like, yeah, they are. I'm
Yeah,
like,
but
what do
see,
you-
here's the thing.
what do you
This
mean
guy,
they are
this
right?
guy is a rare guy.
I have a Ghostface Killer hoodie on.
in the fact that before we started this podcast, the reason he would even work is he's got a good sense of classic hip hop.
Yeah, but Brian's what, you mid 20s?
25.
yeah.
Okay.
So he's a little.
That might be the cutoff, though. That might be it.
It might
May-
be. You know
but
what? He's
what-
probably
what-
right at that point. You're right.
Right, but what also helps me is my older brother.
Yeah,
is-
okay. That helped me too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
is slightly older than Dexter, without giving too much away. but
I feel you on that.
Everybody
Dexter.
knows my age. Though, so
feel
whatever.
that.
so slightly older than that.
Yeah.
But I was introduced to a lot of that early. I often say, Nas and old Jay-Z and Black Moon and Sean Price
Hey.
and Helter Skelter and all that stuff.
All
Okay,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah. And how old are you?
Wu-Tang and all
Huh?
that.
How old are you?
Oh,
If you
come
wanna
on,
give
man.
your age.
Dex, damn.
Oh man. Well, we all put it out there. I was like, you gonna put yours out there. You don't have to.
I just turned the big 3-0.
Oh, okay. Feel good,
So I'm
man.
not too bad.
Feel good.
When I met him,
too
I thought
bad.
he was closer to my age. I
Yeah,
ain't
see,
gonna lie.
everyone thinks
It's
that. So
funny.
I like to keep that out there.
Hey, nobody thinks I'm as old as I am. Black don't cry.
Black don't
I got
cry. I
No
was just about
problem
to
with
say.
that. I got no. I am not complaining.
But anyways, to answer your question, so after college, I actually started off in promotions with WEEI. It was the street team. You go out, give out tickets, to whatever show, get everybody pumped up or whatever sporting event. And then from there, I became a producer. So I was doing that. I used to produce part-time for mostly the night shows. We used to do, what was it? So the EI used to carry the Celtics. This is when Pierce and Garnett was still trying to win a second championship. And
Net fans just cringe.
unfortunately, they lost the contract, but I used to produce the post game show, so that was fun. And then from that, man, I just started working, picking up on my writing that I used to do during my college years. I kind of dropped the ball a bit, but I got back into it. Started my own blog, CausewayStreet.com. So I got into it in that way, and then I just started sending my samples to Rob Bradford, who's the editor at WEEI.com. He said he liked my stuff. Asked me if I like to be cover the Celtics games. I'm like, is that a question? Absolutely, let's do it.
Right.
So he's looking for a Celtics guy. So and this is right when the Brad Stevens era started. So there wasn't a whole lot of attention with this, gravitating towards the Celtics. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. I'll get us some clicks. I got you, Rob. And then Isaiah came, Kyrie Irving came, and all the views started popping up, and from there I got the full-time gig. So it's been great ever since.
Speaking of Kyrie Irving.
Yes. Speaking of Kyrie Irving.
What about him? What happened?
What
are you talking about?
He hasn't been saying anything in the news lately.
No, he's chilling.
He's been chilling.
Yeah, he's waiting for July 1st.
You were, and we're recording this on a Saturday. You were at the game where the Celtics played the Knicks.
I was.
You heard the
Good
We
time.
Want Kyrie chants.
Yes, a few times.
This is a beautiful tie-in to everything we
It
want
is
to discuss.
That put a big smile on your face, didn't it, Bryan? You're
Oh,
like, I want Kyrie.
I was like, yo, Sway's coming at the perfect time.
So let's.
Yeah, that's when I messaged you. I'm like, yo, it's gonna be perfect.
I was like,
Let's
this
do
is beautiful.
Let's do it.
It is beautiful. So let's circle back a little bit,
Okay,
right?
okay.
Before we get into what happened the other day.
All right, a little tease.
Top of the year. Celtics have this event, fan event with all the ticket holders,
Season ticket holders. Yep.
right there at this event. And Kyrie basically comes out and is like, yo, I want to be here. I want to stay here. And so Celtics fans I know, and I have a few friends who are Celtics fans that actually live in New York, live in Brooklyn.
Same.
It's amazingly
Me
it
too,
happened.
actually.
How did that happen?
Yeah. Well,
KG.
one
That's what
dude.
it was KG.
Well, that's the reason my fiance is a Celtics
I
fan.
knew it. That
She-
changed everything.
KG.
That brought a lot of new Celtics fans that you wouldn't have expected.
Yeah,
to
so
become
that's
Celtics.
true. My other good friend, he's from Cambridge, Massachusetts, and so
Okay.
he long time fan. Anyway, Celtics fans are feeling good. They think he's going to stay. So we have that. Kyrie doubled down on these comments when asked about it again, right? And
Media
also,
day,
he
yeah.
also even did that commercial where he's playing with his dad in the Boston Garden,
Yep,
and he's talking about he wants his jersey up in the rafters.
Great
right?
Great
spot.
commercial.
Great spot.
Great
commercial,
spot,
by the
right?
way. Yeah.
Let's start right there. He says all this. You are around the Celtics. You hear what they have to say. How good are you feeling that, hey, this guy's going to stick with us. Number 11 is going to stay with us. He's still going to be there.
It's genuine. I believe it. At the time, I did.
Oh, okay.
Does
What
that-
about now?
Yeah.
Where he's like, when he said, ask me July 1st, I'm like, he's out. He's done. Peace.
So,
done. Lakers.
My confidence has wavered a bit,
Ah.
but I still think he's going to stick around. I just think Kyrie's had it with people just assuming that all these rumors and reports are true. Because think about it. Without the, what was the first thing? I don't even know where to start here. Without the Anthony Davis asking for a trade, this whole thing doesn't get started, right? Without actually, he kind of brought this on himself, but this wasn't his intention. Without him saying, that was the first thing, actually. Oh, yeah, I called LeBron James. After I called out these
Yes.
youngsters, I needed some advice, so let me call LeBron James. All of a sudden, what's his name on ESPN? All these talking heads are like, I'm hearing Kyrie's a little open to having a reunion in LA with LeBron James. I don't know.
Which Brian
Where
is
did
here
that come
for.
from?
Yo,
There's no concrete evidence or anything to support that report. It came out of nowhere.
As soon as he said that,
It's lazy.
As soon as Kyrie said that, I was like, yo, I think he's going to the Lakers.
Come on, man.
But he's always here for the drama.
That's so
Brian's always
lazy,
here for the
man.
drama.
But I could see that just because, like, you know, he thought he could do something on his own, and he's like, you know what? Nah, I miss LeBron. All right, let me go back to LA. They need a
on,
point
man.
guard. Lonzo's
You
not
Legacy purposes, do you know
Be like,
how
Lonzo's-
whack that would be for him to do something like
But
that?
do you know how much that's going to hurt the Celtics fan?
Oh,
if
well,
he,
of course. You
if he leaves and
you
goes
think Kyrie Irving's
anyplace
thinking about the
else-
Celtics fans, right? I mean, in this scenario, that's the last thing he's thinking
If he
about.
leaves and goes anywhere, he'd go to the Knicks. It'll hurt the Celtics fan.
I'd
But if
see him
he
going to New
leaves
York.
and goes to the
Yeah.
Lakers, and you're
with Lonzo
That's not
Ball.
happening,
Remember, Lonzo Ball's barely as good as Frank Ntilikina right now, and Rajon Rondo can't stay healthy. So it's like
It's not happening.
it makes
man.
perfect sense. They
Not
need a
happening.
point guard.
He doesn't want to be Robin anymore, man. He's trying to be Batman. In Boston, he'll be Batman. Even if they were to get Anthony Davis down the road, he would still
Yeah.
be Batman.
So you felt good about what he said then, at the time.
Yes.
Now we fast forward. You talked about the events that have happened. We've had Anthony Davis request a
Right.
trade.
Yes.
We'll get to this later, and I have a lot to say about this. We have Kristaps Porzingis, who shockingly was traded. Okay, the day after Kristaps Porzingis is traded, we have the Celtics playing the Knicks because the NBA is the perfect soap opera, and it can't get any better than that. And you were at the Garden, and you were there for the morning shoot around, correct?
I was not.
You were
I was
not at the morning
Yeah, I
shoot
was
around.
really upset that I wasn't because I didn't. Yeah,
That's
the
all
way
right.
the way I think I had it planned out.
doesn't
I was
matter.
going to go to the game,
But
yeah.
you heard,
Everybody had the
you
sound
heard
bite.
what he
Yeah,
said.
right.
He was asked about this. He basically says he doesn't know anybody's shit.
Ask me July 1st.
Yeah.
Ask me July 1st. When you hear that now, you said you felt good in the beginning of the year, but how are you feeling now?
My confidence was wavered a bit that he may leave the Celtics a little bit, but it hasn't changed much. It hasn't because this is what Kyrie Irving. This is who he is. It's like you're not gonna. I don't have to answer to you. I don't have to answer
Right.
to
Doesn't.
these false reports that I have nothing to do with.
Right.
Because if Anthony Davis doesn't ask for a trade, you wouldn't be asking me this. If the Knicks don't make the trade, you wouldn't be asking me this. So what? In other words, like, fuck that got to do with me. Like, that's pretty much what he's saying. You know what I mean?
Nothing.
Like what's his name in Friday? Fuck that got to do with me. Like, I have nothing to do with these reports. I already told you guys at the beginning of the season. Why do I have to recommit to or double down on my comments?
Because we got to get a story, bro.
No, but
See, that's what he doesn't like. That's what Kyrie's trying to wrap his head around the media and the way things go. Because again, he's never been the Batman.
Listen, if he signs,
he's not used to this.
If he does end up going to the Knicks, it's going to be like that every day. Probably worse sometimes, especially when they're losing.
But see,
so I don't know if he don't want to deal with that.
I mean, if you can get through Boston, though. I mean, New York and Boston, which media is worse? They're like neck and neck.
I'd probably say,
New
well,
York.
New York might be
just
worse.
'cause
Might
there's
be,
more
they might be a
outlets.
little worse
Yeah.
because of you guys haven't had a
let
lot
me
of success the past, what?
let me say this.
19 years or so.
I'd probably say New York is a little bit worse. And
A little bit.
I would probably also say for New York, it also depends on the athlete.
I think so too, but I think what is changing now is if you have that attitude of like, yo, it's not I can't deal with this. Is I don't have to deal with this.
Exactly.
I kind of like that Kyrie's like, I don't know anybody shit.
I like it
okay.
too. I like how he's
Celtics
unconventional.
fans don't like it, though.
Yeah. I like how he thinks.
They would not
But
like in my article.
I also think that he could have handled that better, and he knows that. He just chose not to for whatever
I
reason.
don't think he cares. I kind of like that too, though.
Me too. I agree.
He doesn't care, man.
I agree.
Sometimes like the
telling you.
person's like, yeah, I don't care if I can handle that necessarily.
I agree because I can relate.
Yo, Kyrie, when it comes to stuff like this, he brings it up. Nobody makes him answer these questions. He's always been like that.
Because you're right. He could have deflected and just said, hey, look, I said what I said at the top of the year. I'm
Right.
going to do what's best for my family. Done.
Right.
But when you say that the media plays, there's an expectation, as you said, Josue, that he has to double down on this, and he doesn't. He doesn't literally owe anybody anything, right? He doesn't have to double down on what he said. His feelings could change. He can now say, I want to go to Knicks. I want to go to Lakers. Y'all really gonna be mad for what another man wants to do with his family? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm also not happy that KP is not in New York anymore. We're going to get to that later. Keep teasing that. We're going to get to that later.
Did the expectations for Boston kind of hurt them because of what they did last year without Kyrie Irving?
Good question.
Yes, it did. 1,000%. Especially with the young guys. You know, it was hard for these guys to settle into their to their new roles.
Because I'm wondering, because
A lot of talent on that team.
Kyrie's addition, because he was absent at the tail end of last season, is kind of like an acquisition for this season, right? Where he's here the whole year now, whatever.
Yes, but what people tend to forget, and this drives me crazy throughout the entire first 2-3 months of the season, is that the Celtics don't even get out of the first round if Kyrie Irving doesn't set you up to have home court advantage.
That's a great
They
point.
would have been bounced out against the Bucks. No question. That series probably wouldn't have gone 7 games if they didn't have home court.
That's a good point.
They won every single home game except for Game 7 against the Cavs.
And
they lost every single road game throughout the entire stretch of the postseason.
What I'm wondering,
Good point.
What I'm wondering is, with the Nets playing the way they are, and they don't have a star, quote unquote, even though D'Angelo Russell's becoming that guy. I'm wondering if they add a star, and it would add expectations. Would that actually be not too beneficial for them? Would that actually hurt them?
I think, and I'm speaking because of what the Celtics have done, right? I think gathering assets and having that one all-star, whatever people want to say, oh, he only got it there because of Oladipo, whatever you want to call it. But that rising star and gathering assets and then little by little seeing who will match up or who could fit in that core, who you can do without, who can you couple together and package together for let's say, I don't know, a second option on a playoff team or a third option on a playoff team. I think little by little, that's the best way. I mean, that's what Danny did, right? He gathered a handful of picks.
You know who didn't
He
do
gathered
that?
a couple of role players that pretty much would play at the end of the bench on most teams, and he grabbed Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas turns to Kyrie Irving.
Who didn't do that, Dex?
Certain
Knicks?
team that plays in New York.
The Knicks, yes.
I'm not happy about that.
The Knicks constantly over and over and over again go for the big fish.
Again.
Always.
After they
and
told-
it bites them in the ass.
After they've told us
Now we
they
got to
never
give
do
you
it.
the floor, Dexter.
Now he's fired up. I mean, come on. It happens over and over again, and it doesn't pan out. But look, here they go again. Oh, we got cap space for 2 max guys. Look out, everyone. We'll see.
All right,
In
we're
case you don't know what
We'll
we're
see.
talking about, let's do this now.
Who doesn't know?
Let's do this now.
Who doesn't know?
Let me just give people the facts, right? So on Thursday, On January 31st. This happened very quickly. I was watching the jump. I looked at my phone, and then the next thing I know, they've engaged in trade discussions with the Knicks. Engaged in trade discussions regarding Kristaps Porzingis, perhaps sending him to Dallas. Then I saw the Nets somewhere. Then I saw other teams and whatever. And then like 15, 30 minutes later, boom, they agreed on a deal. And Porzingis, Courtney Lee, Tim Hardaway all go to Dallas in exchange for Wesley Matthews, Dennis Smith Jr., DeAndre Jordan, and 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, Dallas really took that Hardaway contract, huh? That's crazy. I guess they had to, right?
Who I actually think will play well for them and what?
No, I agree, but like, man, Knicks lucked out in the sense that they got
to say that the reactions were mixed was an understatement. Dexter, you were not happy about losing Kristaps Porzingis, even though
I don't even know why I'm smiling.
Even though I
laugh through the pain.
I was laughing at first because of how quickly it all just happened. The timing to me was just hilarious. But I actually don't think this is a bad trade.
Here's the thing. Let me say what I'm mad about. I'm with you. I don't think it's a bad trade, right?
When you consider that he didn't want to be there.
I'm going to get into all that. Let me explain how I found out about it.
All right, you have the floor.
On Thursday, I happened to be in a Best Buy around sometime around lunchtime. Maybe it was around 12:30-ish, sometime around there. And I hear one of these Best Buy workers talking about, all I hear is this: "Hey, yo, man, there's no way they're going to trade Porzingis." He's like, "But Woj just said he's unhappy." So I'm at the checkout with my coworker, and like she's buying something, so I'm not, and I just turned and was like, I heard the Woj. And at first I thought it was some dudes talking. I'm just like,
but then whenever you hear Woj, she's like,
"What did you say?" So I said to the dude, I was like, "Excuse me, what did you say?" Woj said, "What?" So I just pull out the phone. I'm like, "Oh, okay." So now I see the alerts, and I see a text from Bryan. And a couple other people.
The text read LMFAO with a lot of O's.
That's it. Brian's just gonna laugh.
5 unread messages.
Other people are like, "Yo, man, they're gonna trade KP. They're gonna do that." And I'm like, "What is going on?" So I read the report. And I'm talking to this dude, and he's like, "Yeah, man, KP's not happy." And I'm like, "Oh, this might be some posturing to make sure they do what they want to do, whatever." I'm working, so I don't check my phone. Mm-hmm. For probably about maybe 2. It's happened very quickly.
You stopped thinking about it too. You're like,
I was like, this ain't gonna mess up my day. It ended up doing that. I was like, this ain't gonna mess up my day. I'm not gonna think about it. Then I see it happens, and they make this deal. And here's the reason I'm upset. And this goes to something you were saying, Josue. The Knicks sold us, and I don't know why I accepted any of this. I don't know why I bought any of this, because this has been an abusive relationship that I've had with this team since I was about 7 years old. They sold us that, hey, we're going to do things differently. We're going to break this down. We're going to develop the young players. And the one thing the Knicks had going for them was they had a young star. They had a guy who was already probably a top 25 player in this league by what he showed last year. 7'3", moves well out the ball. He was injured, had the ACL tear, but ACL tears aren't what they used to be. People have been bouncing back from him. The only concern is you haven't seen somebody bounce back from it at his height. But Porzingis was an all-star last year. An all-star, guys, who's 23. Who's somebody who I wanted them to take the year they drafted him. Okay? You got all this, and you say bye to this. Now you're telling me that you're trading this for cap space. Oh, there's another way you can look at it. Reports come out, and people I've talked to who cover the Knicks, and some people around it, it's true. It's legit. He did not want to be there.
I don't understand that, though. When I hear the reports of that, he didn't like the direction of where the team was going. Why not just sit and wait for the offseason and see who they're going to come up with? Like, the cap space is already there.
The cap space? To at least they could have got one max free agent.
Right, at least one.
And they still had some other moves they needed to make and see who they're going to draft. That's the only question I'd love to ask Porzingis. I'd love to be at that press conference of the Mavericks and be like, you did not like the direction Knicks were going in. Based on what?
People think that he's getting bad advice from his brother.
Maybe that's possible, and they've kind of handled New York since coming here in a diva-ish kind of way. No doubt about that.
But can you imagine, though, in the best case scenario, let's say they get the number 1 pick. Let's say they get Zion. Let's say Kevin Durant says, you know what, I'm going to start a new chapter in New York.
Bruh.
That's a legit squad.
Bruh.
If
the Knicks had Zion, Kristaps, Kevin Knox, I told Bryan, you wouldn't even see me this summer. I'd be
without the rim
somewhere.
You're good with that.
I'd be excited.
But now,
am I excited today?
Yeah.
No.
That's what I want to know.
No, I'm not excited. You know why I'm not excited? Cap space doesn't excite me. Hey, I'm a Knicks fan. Does anybody remember 2010?
That's what I was saying.
We had room.
Everyone is saying that they're gonna get Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant,
They better.
Zion Williamson.
Well, that's the direction
They
now. That has to be the direction.
better.
That has
right,
to be the plan.
and they're probably gonna wind up with Jimmy Butler.
First of all, Zion
That's a joke. I'm not
Williams
even
is no guarantee. And no disrespect to Jimmy Butler. If you make a move like this where you give up a all-star who's 23, and I'm going to say something here. I don't care if he didn't want to be there. You got to play that out because you got control. You know what good organizations do? Good organizations, when they're disgruntled or the star's disgruntled, they still talk to that person to make it work. I guarantee you somebody in the Celtics yesterday put their arm around Kyrie and was like, hey, bro, we heard you say that, you got to wait till July 1st. We don't want to wait till July 1st. We want to talk to you and see how we can smooth this over. I guarantee you they're trying to smooth it over now.
They have to be, yeah.
The Knicks had a 5-minute meeting with KP and said, and then 2 hours later they're going to trade you? What?
What happened in this meeting?
How bad was a meeting that we have a difference of opinion that's like, it's less than 5 minutes? And the people I'm talking to are saying this is legit.
Yeah, but he was salty at the end of last year, though. He skipped out on his exit interview, didn't he? Didn't he go to the island or something? He was supposed to have an exit interview with the Knicks, and he was like, "Nah, I'm good."
And he dissed Phil Jackson too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I understand the
He was like,
dysfunction.
Phil,
I
you're not
understand the whole Phil stuff. I understand why he was salty there, and I didn't mind his play then.
Yeah.
But Kristaps, not that he has to really answer to us, but I would like to know why.
Well, he said on Instagram the next morning that the truth will come out
That's
with
corny.
a smiley face.
I'm sorry.
Then
I
he
think
deleted it.
No,
all
he
that,
didn't.
and then he deleted it.
Shut
That's
up.
corny.
He did that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know about this?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
deleted
was in
it?
the morning. I had woke up. It was already off. But then I found out about it on social media because
truth will
once you
come
put
out.
it out there, it's getting screenshotted. It's going to Deadspin. It's going to SB Nation.
Well, I want the truth
People
to
are
come
gonna
out.
know.
These guys is drooling over Kyrie, man. That's what it was.
I want the
Your
truth
squad is
to come
drooling
out.
over Kyrie to pair him with Durant.
Here's the thing about this. If you make this move and give up a guy of Kristaps' talent, you better bring back an A-lister. Jimmy Butler ain't going to cut it, bro.
Actually, more than one because what they're selling now is
Yeah,
the
they
cap
got
space, and they're
enough
selling
for
two
two.
max slots.
Who's-
So now
who
you
has
got to
this
sell
worked
two
for?
max slots.
Who has this
That's what
worked
I'm
for?
saying.
This is the thing. This is the thing we have to understand in NBA, and this is the whole narrative about how all this stuff with Anthony Davis requesting the trade. Oh, stars want to go to big markets. It's not true.
Right.
Kristaps Porzingis just left New York because he's like, y'all are dysfunctional. Now, the Knicks have been dysfunctional to some degree for a long time, about 2 decades. I actually have liked what they've done in the last year until now because you told me you were going to develop young talent, and now it appears like maybe because KP wasn't happy there. I still need to know more about that, but it appears like, and what you're saying, Bryan, they're going for cap space.
Did you see what Bobby Marks said on ESPN?
No.
His little breakdown? You're going to hate this. So they were talking about them potentially getting Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant free agency, and then packaging Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson, the first overall pick, whoever else to get Anthony Davis and have those three, and then fill out the roster with probably minimum guys in a mid-level exception. That might be their grandmaster plan.
Wait. You would hate that?
No, I wouldn't hate it.
why
But
would you
here's the
hate
thing. You have to do it.
Yeah.
I don't love that plan. You know why I don't love that plan? Because there's way too many ifs.
Who's gonna sign? Who's gonna
That's a lot
sign?
of ifs.
Who are you gonna get for 10 minimum contracts?
I mean,
Like honestly,
I mean, even
maybe not 10. Wait, 10? Nah, it has to
what
be
you
less than that.
what you have
I'm
to
just
what you have to
exaggerating,
look
right?
at is
But look what the Heat did. Remember
but the
that?
problem was they got all three of those guys to come at the same time.
Yeah, but the-
and
Well,
take
no,
a
I'm
little
talking
bit
about,
of less
about
money.
those minimum contracts.
Oh, yeah.
They just signed whoever. They're like, yo, who wants to play for Miami? They all just came in.
Oh, I think you can get guys to play.
I also think that's a little different because they have LeBron.
Yeah.
I think having
I don't know, though.
KD.
If you got Durant and Anthony Davis, though.
I don't know if any of those guys are going to be healthy for like the years to come. I just want to put that out there.
You don't know. I mean, you never know.
For the next 4 years, I'm taking Kemba Walker over Kyrie Irving. That's just me personally.
Interesting.
I don't know
I'm a
about
Kemba
that.
guy, too.
I like
Kemba
Kemba
a
too,
lot.
but I
That's
don't know
me
about all that.
personally.
He's going to be
He's
up for
been
grabs, too.
surprisingly durable.
But
He'll
here's the
be
thing.
out, too. He's not going to stay in Charlotte.
If the Knicks
should.
could get those three, could it be exciting? Yes. But here's the thing: we've never seen anybody do it with 3 free agents outside of the Heat, right?
And somebody
And
was
the
already
Well,
there.
no, Wade
Right.
was already
Wade
there.
was
So you've
already
actually
there.
never seen. Yeah.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
You have to get these guys to be already there. And here's the other thing. Okay, that thing that Bobby Marks said. Here's the thing I think it's not going to... We're going to get into this with the AD thing. Who's beating the Celtics offer? That Nick offer is not beating what the Celtics can offer. It's not. If I'm the Pelicans and the Knicks offer what you just said, Mitchell Robinson, Knox, who else did you say?
It was Mitchell Robinson, Knox.
Ntilikina, and this year's first.
Who's topping Tatum? Put it that way.
That's what nobody is.
Right.
At the end of the day, you have to answer that question. Who's topping Tatum?
Which is why the Pelicans should be waiting and doing what they should do because Boston has the best offense. Nobody can match.
It's in their best interest to wait.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let me just to wrap this up. I'm very upset with the Knicks because I feel like we've been hoodwinked. But I've been hoodwinked before. I've been bamboozled
led astray,
before.
Run amok.
Yeah.
Every past 5 years, you can use one of those.
Yeah,
terms.
this has happened before. So why am I rooting for this team? You know who I like? I'm a KP fan. And you know who I like, who he's going to play with right now?
Luka
I like
Doncic.
Luka Doncic.
I like
I
those
love
two
Luka
pairing
Doncic
together.
down in Dallas. I might be taking my fandom to the Mavericks. This might be happening.
You're going to have a Mavericks jersey on this summer.
I might. I'm mad I even bought my daughter a KP jersey.
Oh, man. When did you buy that?
It was actually gifted to her. It wasn't me who bought it, but this was...
Okay, that's fine.
This was
Yo,
when she was about
here's
about
the thing.
2 years ago.
It wasn't recent then.
You can't, and I told somebody this who has a KP jersey on Thursday, you can't get jerseys of current players. You can't do that because guys move around way too much
But
now.
you know what?
You have to get
You
legends.
know what?
You have
They
to get like
sold
Allen
me.
Houston.
They sold me. When he was drafted, I thought he's the best young player we had since Patrick Ewing.
Did you like him from the beginning when the pick happened?
Yes,
really,
definitely.
I'll never forget Stephen
did,
A's
definitely.
reaction.
He
Remember,
did.
remember what
On
Stephen
board.
A. Smith said?
Yeah,
He was
and a lot of people were wrong.
Spaz.
Just like a lot of people were wrong.
But you know what it is? People fear the unknown, which also brings me to, let me say this. What if this is crazy enough to work? What if this is crazy enough because, like, we've never seen it before. There's no precedent for doing what the Knicks are trying to do.
Then
somebody has to try it.
I agree with that. I will laud the front office, and I will say they probably got some back channel information,
Which they should have.
If this is
It would be irresponsible to do this without some sort of information.
I'd have to think that these dudes know something. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt here.
But let me
if they knew something and they pulled this off, and they get 2 guys here, and what am I going to say?
Let me say this, though. It kind of depends on what else happens.
Well, the right 2 guys.
It depends on what else happens.
Well,
right.
You got a lot of options, though.
But
It's not just about KD. You got Kemba Walker.
Right, but it
Kawhi,
depends on
Jimmy.
Klay Thompson,
Klay.
and then you go down the line, and it's not as great. But,
Yeah.
like, when you go and look at what everybody else can do, where is that going to leave them if they do get Kyrie and Kevin Durant? You know what I mean? Because what if the Nets add Kawhi Leonard, which is possible? Or what if the Celtics add Anthony Davis, which is also possible despite what his dad might have said? You know, like...
I mean, I think you have to do the best that you can do in any offseason and then take where it goes from there. That's all you can do.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, I don't... Because I think what... I think your fellow Knicks fans think that this is going to work and then they're going to win a championship right away. Where it's like, Golden State's still going to kind of be there even without Kevin Durant.
Here's the thing. I'm not as upset. I'm upset about because I think the Knicks should have probably took KP's bluff a little bit more. You have a guy you can control. I think you say, you know what nobody's ever done? Talk about things people done. Nobody's ever turned down the rookie extension yet. No rookies ever turned down that money because it's too much for them to turn down, right? I call his bluff, even if you got him to a shorter deal, 2-3 year deal, and extended him. I don't think you give up a guy that good with that skill set.
But then what about the Rose rule?
But remember, I did say that I
got the Rose rule. That's the thing.
true.
Yeah, I think they're drooling over Anthony Davis. They're drooling over Kyrie Irving.
I'm also concerned about his injury history going forward, though. But I said that recently.
You said that
when
before.
we talked about
That's
it.
all of that is fair.
So that's why I'm like, I don't know if this is the worst thing in the world.
It's not the worst thing in the
If he, in fact,
world.
wanted to be out. But it does put him in a position where they have to deliver.
Yes.
And they might. And then at the same time, there's still a bunch of questions, even if you do deliver 2 max free agents, because who's going to play on your bench? You know what I mean? Like, the Heat were able to be smart enough to get a bunch of shooters like Mike Miller, like Eddie House, and guys like that, and they made it work. They even lost the first year they went to the championship.
I actually don't worry. I don't worry as much because the Knicks will still have some young players if they had those 2 under friendly contracts. I don't worry as much about the guys being able to come there. When you put in those 2 kind of players there, people are going to want to come. And so I'm not as worried about that.
In more ways than one.
I think
Yes.
it has almost, at this point, though, I think it really boils down to Kyrie Irving. Because if you don't get Kyrie Irving to sign, no one else is coming. Yeah, I missed that.
No, he just was being immature.
Yeah, I figured
Yes.
from yeah.
I don't want to say.
Yes.
I'll listen to it.
But you're talking about Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, because if you don't get Kyrie Irving, you're not going to get Durant. And then the Anthony Davis thing, that's a huge gamble because you have to have that pick ready. if you don't have a top 2 pick,
And where are you picking?
New Orleans gonna be like, what do you got for us?
Yeah.
You know,
I look.
What if? And here's the thing: what if the Knicks don't get Zion Williamson? What if?
Right.
You know they.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't get the number 1 pick, then New Orleans is like, I don't even need to talk to you guys.
What
What else do you have to offer?
What if they do like they usually do and win games down the stretch? Because remember, they have during the first. This was recently, but during the first, I want to say 50 or so games of the season, they had the least amount of home games played in the NBA, along with the Atlanta Hawks at 21. Coming up, they got a lot of those bad teams at home. They're gonna win some games down the stretch. They might win enough to be.
Don't say that.
They might win enough to be the 4th overall pick, and you're probably gonna miss out on Zion,
They better
RJ,
not.
and Ja Morant.
You better take a page out of the old Celtics and sit DeAndre Jordan, sit all of them,
I say buy him out. I don't even want to see him.
buy him out.
Buy him out.
And you know what sucks?
Wes Matthews, buy him out.
I actually said this today, though. I was like, yo, Wes Matthews is someone that could actually be useful going forward to come off their bench if they were to keep him. However, and obviously he's not going to make as much money as he is now. However, you don't want to win games. Same thing with DeAndre Jordan. I would think that
out.
with DeAndre Jordan, it might be beneficial for Mitchell Robinson to watch him play and learn some defensive principles.
Well, what if they strike out on those free agents? You might end up having to pay DeAndre Jordan some dough because that could have very much happened. We've seen this. We've seen this chapter before. We've seen this movie before.
And here's the thing: in terms of free agency,
It's just a risky
how
move.
attractive are they with the complete blank slate?
Right,
like great
exactly.
New York market, whatever. And
Oh.
people are still saying, oh, there's cachet and things like that. But I repeatedly tell this to Jamal Murphy and Darrell. I tell them to this all the time. I'm like, look, players increasingly do not care about market
that's been
size to
shown.
that degree.
That's been shown.
They don't care about market
I
size.
think
they care about money, which the Knicks do have. They care about that because now they have the space to make that happen. But they also care about organizational structure,
There you go.
who's on the team,
Yeah.
who
There
are
you
the
go.
young players.
playing with their buddies.
The
There you
Lakers
go.
have LeBron. That's their selling chip. Come play with LeBron. It's
they're
not
also
so much.
they're also the Lakers.
Yeah,
What you're saying
which
is
helps.
What you're saying
but
is
the Knicks don't have. The Knicks are the Knicks, but they don't have a history of winning. They have the worst record in the NBA this century.
Here's the thing. The market size only is a sweetener. It's a sweetener to what you already have. The first thing you mentioned is the biggest thing. Look, the Celtics are the Celtics, right? It's not like Boston's been this big free agent destination, but
Right.
they have the
Never.
cachet of this. They have all the banners and the championships.
Right.
The Lakers, probably more of a sexy destination. They have the banners too, right? But you need organizational structure. The people in the front office have to be good at their job, okay? A lot of people weren't trying to come to LA the last couple of years, right? Who's been trying to knock down the door to get there? LaMarcus Aldridge turned them down. And where do you go? San Antonio.
Paul George didn't go there.
Right. It's not like a lot of people are dying to live in San Antonio. No disrespect to San Antonio.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't dying to live in Oklahoma City. No disrespect to Oklahoma City either.
And then look what Paul George did. Everyone
Right.
assumed he was going to go to LA.
LaMarcus
Right.
Aldridge went to the Spurs.
So-
Pau Gasol went to the Spurs.
So Brian's point is right in that what matters is organizational competence. Now, Brian brought up the question, why is anybody going to want to come here? See, that's my question about this whole thing with the cap space. You might want to attract Durant, Irving, whoever, and maybe they want to play here.
They might agree to come together.
They might, right? And I think that's a whole big if
That's
that you're
what this
asking
is.
to happen.
Yeah.
And you need
But
just at least one of them just to say,
What
okay,
do
I'm
the
going.
Knicks have to sell anybody on wanting to come here? Oh, you want to come here and play with Frank Ntilikina? That doesn't get me excited. You want to come here and play with Kevin Knox? That's not getting me excited. And if I'm a player, I'm like, yo, you just had a young all-star who said peace. He didn't want to be here. That matters too.
That matters
Let's not
too.
act like that doesn't matter.
Look at the reactions with Joel Embiid typing LOL after the trade happened, and other
Yeah, I
guys
saw
being
that.
like, wow, and Kevin Knox putting the scared emoji, your own young rookie who's supposed to be a
Because they're
star in
like,
the
if
future.
this star who was balling last year didn't want to be here, how does that look to Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant's like, what's going on here? I'm going to question what's going on here. Then you got the Knicks front office and their media team coming out and banning reporters from being on a conference call.
Here's another thing. I still think it's entirely possible that Kevin Durant stays in Golden State, and to appease him, they trade Draymond Green. So what if he doesn't hit the free agency market at all?
There's a lot of ifs. You know.
And to Josue's point,
Yeah.
Kyrie might stay in Boston.
But you know what I did know? That KP was 23 and an all-star. And y'all had him under control, and y'all let him go. I'm done here. A new daily fantasy app for prop bets is here, and it's called Thrive Fantasy. Forget the old school way of DFS. Thrive Fantasy has streamlined the drafting process and eliminated the need to do unnecessary hours of research by using only top-tier athletes. That means no more salary cap. You just build your lineup around a list of prop bets. Here's how it works. For each contest, you choose 10 of the 20 prop bets plus 2 ice picks that protect you from any late scratches or postponed games. Each unique prop has an over and under point value assigned to it, and you will be rewarded that value if the prop is correct. So for example, if Tom Brady throws for over or under 250 yards, the less likely the prop is to occur, the more points the choice will be worth. You build your team score around the amount of correct prop bets you select. It's easy to play, so just check out the Thrive Fantasy link in the description of this podcast and get in the game with Thrive Fantasy today. The Celtics know that they have all the trade chips to get Anthony Davis. But the big thing is, will the Lakers, which everybody thinks is where Anthony Davis wants to go, will they be aggressive before the deadline?
Rich Paul.
Do you think the Celtics get Anthony Davis eventually? It has to happen after July 1st, but do you think they eventually get him?
I think they do. But
Do you think they should?
I think they should.
Yes.
My fear is that a team is just going to swoop in before the deadline. That could happen. A team that is just willing to risk it all. Because think about it. We talk about someone like Paul George, who people were like, oh, I don't know, Oklahoma City, you're getting this guy for a rental. You gave up all this and that. What happened? He stuck around. You know, guys in the past, we'll see what happens with Kawhi. I still think Kawhi might stay in Toronto. Toronto has a really good shot to not only compete, but they could knock off the Celtics this year. I do think they're that talented. Yeah. You can look at their track record throughout the postseason the last couple of years. That team is completely different to what they have now. Kawhi Leonard's a top 5 guy. The defense is at another level that we've seen before in the last couple of years.
What teams have enough to get Anthony Davis? Off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head, the only interesting team to me, and people are going to think I'm crazy with this one, but I don't know. You never know. Depending how New Orleans feels about this package deal, is Denver. Denver's interesting.
All right, they are. I've heard.
Very interesting.
I think we'll take some combination of Jamal Murray,
Harris.
Murray
would be sort of the promising selling point of this package deal.
They probably
20-point score on the up and up. You got you have to throw in Paul Millsap for contract purposes.
Yep.
I think.
And they got picks.
And they they had the rookie Porter Jr.
Porter Jr. That's not a bad trade.
Not a bad package.
I think
deal.
the Nets could assemble a package, but I just wouldn't do it personally if I were them.
But
who's your centerpiece? D'Angelo Russell?
Yes, he would have to be.
It would have to be. It would have to be him or Karras.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
it would have.
so.
If I'm New Orleans, it's like, yo, it starts at Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, and at least a pick, because they're probably gonna have to give you Allen Crabbe to make the salaries match. And it's like, if I'm taking back Allen Crabbe, I'm gonna need multiple first-round picks.
Right.
But here's the thing: those teams that might be willing to go for it, like you're saying, Josue.
Yeah, but I don't know if Denver has the sack to do it though.
Because but you know what
I hope not. I saw them kill.
What
Houston.
if Toronto did it? Toronto shown to go for it. What if they said Pascal Siakam,
See, that's the thing. You just throw a bunch of
OG
bigs at
Anunoby?
them, and it's like, is that what they really want? I mean, they do obviously want a big to replace Anthony Davis,
Well,
but
New
I
Orleans
feel like they're
doesn't
looking for that one promising guy who can turn into maybe not a superstar, but like a perennial all-star. And with Denver, you had that. At least depending on how you feel about Jamal Murray.
They don't have a lot of leverage though. New Orleans, they don't have a lot of leverage.
No, which is why they're better off waiting. But if they depending how they feel about this Denver package that we just talked about, you know, it could happen.
I don't know how much you could wait. Just because wait for Boston, sure. If you wait to the summer,
waiting for Boston is the thing that makes sense. But here's the only thing that can change that, and this is kind of what we're talking about. What if AD comes out and says publicly, "Yo, I want to be traded to the Lakers"? If he says that, then that changes everything.
Yeah.
Because now those other teams that Josue was mentioning that might want to take a chance and rent him and see if they can convince him to stay, might be like, well, we're not going to give up all this when we know he wants to go to Lakers anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Portland's another team
true.
I just thought of, too.
I'm saying that everything you're saying makes sense, but I was like, what if he throws this?
Even if the deadline comes and goes and he says that about LA, that could happen.
Yeah, right? You see what I'm saying?
Rich Paul knows what he's doing, man. This whole thing is orchestrated.
I said that when we had Howard Beck up here.
Real talk.
As soon as he hired Rich Paul, I'm like, he's going to the Lakers.
He's even got Kyrie Irving spazzing. Like, this is all orchestrated, man. Everybody's looking shaky right now. Boss is looking shaky. The franchise, everyone. I mean, I don't mean like the personnel of the franchise, but Celtics fans they're nervous right now. They're really nervous, all because of these reports, all set in place, orchestrated by Rich Paul.
It sucks because the Lakers package is really not that attractive.
Did you see?
It's not. Did you see There's nothing they could do to fix that right now.
Did you see what the Lakers offered?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull it up
trash.
right now. I'll pull it up right
That's
now.
the best
I saw
they
it
can
last
do.
night.
But it is the best. I mean, unless they want to start throwing in more picks.
Look, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Rajon Rondo, Michael Beasley, and a first-round pick. Listen, man.
They didn't even put Brandon Ingram in there.
I already have. If I'm New Orleans, I have Elfrid Payton season and I have Drew Holiday, why the hell would I want Lonzo Ball and Rajon Rondo?
Well, because Lonzo Ball's better than Elfrid Payton. That's not even close.
Think he's better than Elfrid Payton right now?
Yes, he's better than Elfrid Payton.
I still have Drew Holiday though.
But
under
Drew,
max salary.
Drew Holiday
Yeah,
can play.
he's
Drew
there for
Holiday
the
can
long
play
run.
off the ball.
I think the Lakers could trade for.
Drew could be the 2.
Lonzo is already a good defender and a very good passer and rebounder for his size. He's not shooting the ball well, but he does those other 3
But
things.
he's
really
an
he
awful
clutched with
shooter.
triple doubles.
Like he's not just shooting. He's not.
So
not
was
shooting
Jason
the ball
Kidd when
well.
he started his career.
He's shooting 40% on free throws.
That bothers
That's
me.
a really good
bothers me
point
more.
though. Jason Kidd was a terrible shooter.
Yeah, so
but then by the end
I don't
I
get
know,
caught
Ace
up in
and
these
Kidd,
guys.
whatever, but
I don't get caught up in these guys who can't shoot as well earlier. If he does other things at a high level, I like that.
is
That's
he
good.
really better than Frank Ntilikina? Honestly,
Right now, he's
know what's
a better passer and he could get into the lane better than Ntilikina, so I'll say yeah.
You know, it's funny. I just thought of this right now. Actually, I was thinking about this yesterday. You just brought it up by bringing his name up. The Knicks trade for Dennis Smith Jr. And I remember going into that draft, I was like, "That's the guy you guys should have picked all along."
I didn't like Dennis Smith Jr.
Really?
Nah.
So you like that pick?
I like that pick of Ntilikina.
Really?
And I still think
Okay.
Ntilikina is going to be okay. I think people were still too worried about the shot.
Oh man.
He does not shown. Brian knows I'm down on what he's done this year because he hasn't shown me the ability to get into the paint. Ntilikina's already an elite defender. He can defend really good.
I don't know, man. Smith could turn that corner.
Here's the
And
thing.
you could say the same thing about
I
a lot
hope
of guys.
so.
In that draft, there's a lot of guys that wait till year 3, year 4, they're going to start to flourish. And I think he's
That's
one of those
true.
guys. And just
we're seeing that now with D'Angelo
could-
Russell, Justice Winslow, and
That's true.
Janelle
Before
Okafor.
before the draft, I could just see him, like him in a Knicks jersey, everyone going nuts, that score first type of point guard. And it's just funny to me. I could pull up my mock draft
I
right
hope-
now. And
I hope
it'll
you're
say
right.
The Knicks pick.
He's on the
Dennis
team,
Smith,
and I still
Dennis Smith Jr.
he's on the team, and I still am kind of rooting for the Knicks. So I will say I hope you're right.
He's going to
Kinda
do well.
rooting
He's
for
going
the
to do well.
Knicks.
Watch, you see. He's going to do well.
But let me ask you something about Frank Ntilikina. $6.2 million team option for 2020 and 2021, which they're going to have to make a decision on prior to next season.
Yeah. I don't think it's getting picked up. Not the way he's
neither.
played right now.
Me neither.
This is unless one thing, especially they want to keep flexibility. Unless he plays in summer league and has this really good summer league where you see some change in aggressiveness, and I wouldn't put too much stock into that.
Or the rest of the season.
Yeah, but he needs to show and prove. The end of the season is very important for him.
You don't want your lottery pick to be in summer league in his third
I
season.
was going to say, is he going to the summer league again?
Like, but
He
he
needs
has
to.
to. He has to.
He needs
He
to.
has to, and you got to play him as shooting guard and be like, "Yo, you're attacking, or we're not picking up your option."
Who's good in the G League? I heard you guys have like the best G League team right now. Like you guys like the Warriors of the G League.
Don't say that to me, man. Don't say that.
Shout out Philip Carr.
Come on,
He's
man!
from
If you're
Brooklyn.
gonna
He's on that
fill out
team.
this bench with with guys, you got to know somebody's gonna get moved up, right? If you're gonna go get Durant and Kyrie, you got to have somebody.
Isaiah Hicks is your
somebody
other
to fill
two-way. Kadeem Allen's your two-way that's playing now.
Oh,
and
Kadeem is
Isaiah
I like
Hicks.
I like Kadeem.
Isaiah Hicks, former Celtic, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Kadeem
and,
Allen's
and
awesome.
Isaiah Hicks is there. Jameel Warney's on that team.
Are we really
Oh.
Are we talking about the G League right now? Stop it, man. Stop.
Steven Zimmerman, former second-round pick of the Orlando Magic.
Stop. Stop. Let's just stop this right now.
Yo,
Some
y'all got
nonsense.
in the media section. Y'all got these little monitors. And
Yes, we do.
It
And-
plays
and-
the it plays the G
It
League
plays the G-
games.
the Westchester Knicks. You down to go do some Westchester Knicks coverage, Josue?
At some point throughout that game, I was like, "Oh, this team's not bad. Check these guys."
So
out.
you think I think the Celtics need AD. You think they will get him?
I think they will get him, and if they don't, if they strike out, if Papa Anthony Davis is just like, "No, son, you ain't going there. You're better than that. Go to L.A. Listen to your dad."
It's probably.
I don't
that's
think it's the
what
end of the
I think is
world.
gonna happen. That's what I think.
I don't think it's the end of the world for the Celtics. I still think the Celtics will compete. I mean, you still got Jason Tatum.
They still have depth, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, like Jason Tatum is the one piece that New Orleans can say to everyone else, "Who's your Tatum in this deal?"
What do you
because
think?
Boston's
I agree.
Boston's
I
willing to
agree.
give me Tatum. And look, it's not going to be that easy. People always describe trying to make a deal with Danny Ainge as like pulling teeth.
That's what I was gonna
But
say.
at the end of the day, if it comes down to Tatum,
It's go time.
Danny Ainge will trade his mom for Anthony Davis, man.
What?
That's how he is.
Yo,
He does
but
not care.
Look, but sometimes when you need to win championships, your mom gotta go. But look, here's the thing.
Yo, see how you feel about your mom.
I'm joking.
We need to pull that out for Mother's Day episode. Yeah, you gotta do that.
Play that drop.
Yeah, we
Listen,
will.
man, I'm coming from the guy who once said family's overrated on this podcast. I don't
Some
have much
members
of,
in your
I don't have
family
much.
are overrated.
Some members. I don't have much of a leg to stand on in this one.
don't.
I hope none of y'all listen.
Well,
to
let me
this.
ask y'all this though:
Love you guys.
If y'all were Danny Ainge, would you trade Tatum for Anthony Davis?
Absolutely. You've been
Yeah.
you've been,
These Celtics fans
you've
are
been
crazy,
holding
man.
all these assets for this moment. And I think if you can land to Anthony Davis after July 1st, you know who's going to stay? Kyrie Irving.
Absolutely.
Because they're supposedly tight. So,
Yeah,
go
Anthony
ahead, Brian.
Davis is Anthony Davis now. we don't know where Jason Tatum's going to be.
That's true.
As Gerard always likes
Right.
to say.
That's different than trading a young talent for cap space,
Right.
and you don't know what that's going to do.
Right.
But some organizations like to do that. Knicks.
How do you?
And also, I want to add this too for the people out there who are saying, "Oh, Anthony Davis could be a rental. He could just up and leave." That's not going to happen, man. Once he gets a taste of Boston, once he gets a taste of the fandom, once he gets a taste of playing at TD Garden, part of the home team, it's not happening, man.
I mean, but Kyrie
People
Irving
come to
might
Boston and they
leave
love
though.
it.
So
Not if Anthony Davis is coming.
Well,
Right.
maybe yeah. But let me say this: How do you
Exactly.
feel? How do you feel about the whole Isaiah Thomas situation still sort of carrying weight and being into the light now? Because I feel like players do look at loyalty as one of those factors in free agency and things we were talking about. If the organization is going to show its players loyalty, and people are sort of sour on that Isaiah Thomas situation still.
It surprises me up until this point that they're still like that because look how both sides panned out. I mean, looking back on it, who can sit there and honestly say that Celtics made a wrong move?
But do you still think it's going to affect them? Like in future transactions with Anthony Davis potentially, with Kyrie Irving's free agency pending?
I really don't think so. I don't. I just think a lot of these guys nowadays, they want to play with their guys. They want to win. And at the end of the day, they look at that and say, "Man, that was an unfortunate situation, but that's not going to happen to me." You know what
I wonder how much
everyone these NBA players are so gassed and they're so full of themselves that they're just in their mind they're like, "Yeah, that's a shitty situation for him, but I'm too good to be traded." So I don't think it'll affect him.
I wonder how much of it is more that he got traded, or is the fact that he played while hurt.
Yeah, I think
That's the
what it
messed
is.
up thing, right?
I think that's the messed up thing that people are looking at because they're like, man, Celtics knew a lot more than Cleveland did.
Uh-huh.
And then Cleveland, remember they held up the deal. They throw in the Celtics threw in like a 2028 second round pick. They're like, all right, we got a deal now.
Now
And it's
we
like
do
that's all it took, really? Like that's it, because Isaiah is not going to be at 100%, never. And then look how everything else panned out. It was just, man, Danny's undefeated. Danny is undefeated.
That's right.
When has he lost a trade? Besides his first couple of years when he was just trying to figure things out. I mean, he's undefeated right
I
now.
don't remember losing no trades.
He's undefeated.
He's undefeated right now. I still would
This is his toughest pull right here.
right here.
Davis.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. This is
But
tough,
it's
and
the
I still
pull
want
he
to
has
see.
to make.
I also still want to see if how the Nets trade continues to play out, because now you're looking at what they got in that trade, and
Wait,
it
what do
doesn't
you-
look too bad
Wait. Hold on.
in terms of the first round picks.
Well, I mean, the Nets did some good stuff with their first round picks, getting it for late picks. But let me tell you something. Ain't nothing good about pick swapping all those years that they were.
Wait, you talking about the Paul Pierce and KG trade?
Yes,
I mean,
because when you really look at it, like, all right, let me ask you something.
Are you trying to say that there's a chance the Nets could win that trade?
If you look back on it years from now, right? And we have to see where both teams are, but we're at a point now where Kyrie Irving could leave. For all intents and purposes, what if Kyrie Irving leaves?
That doesn't give the Nets a win.
Hold on. Kyrie Irving leaves. You're not letting me finish. Kyrie Irving leaves. They don't get Anthony Davis, right? And the Nets end up getting a free agent because they could. They have the space for it. They're going to be able to maneuver and do that. The Nets could be a better team next season.
Doesn't
It's
mean
entirely
they want,
possible.
Doesn't mean they want to trade.
And because of that trade, they had to get they pick swapped in 2017.
Yep.
They got Jared Allen. I know Boston got Jason Tatum. Well, they got Markelle Fultz and then traded him. Stupid Philadelphia.
Yeah, again, Danny Ainge not losing.
Yeah.
But the Nets did get Jared
Another
Allen.
win for him.
The Nets did get Jared
But
Allen.
Jared Allen's not
A
Jason
product
Tatum.
of that trade is also them getting Karis LeVert. Not directly because they had to
Yes.
deal
Right.
Thaddeus Young. But if you're going 2016 picks, not Thaddeus Young, Karis LeVert, Jaylen Brown.
All right, well, I see what you're
I think
saying.
Karis LeVert's a better
I mean,
player. You know, in
Boston-
2018, the pick that they gave up ended up being Colin Sexton. They ended up getting Karooks in the second round, who's going to be in the Rising Stars Challenge.
Who looks good, but I'm not going to go crazy on him yet.
He's starting already.
Look, I'll say.
But what I'm saying is like,
I'll say
I
that-
had to look through my program about him. That's true. I
What-
had to do some digging.
I think what you need to say is the Nets have done a good job in their homework and
Recovering.
being
Yeah.
recovering.
they've done the best job they could have done in recovering
yes,
from that trade.
they did,
because
and
they're
that
still
counts.
supposed to be. They're supposed to be right now where the Atlanta Hawks are. They're supposed to be terrible. Well,
But they-
actually, Atlanta's not terrible.
But here's a couple
But-
things. Here's a couple things they did that matter in that is that they took risks. They took on contracts like DeMarre Carroll. They acquired extra first round picks. They did things like that. They used unconventional methods. They had to do like kind
The
of in the
D'Angelo
way.
Russell trade was solid.
Do I need to
Yeah.
remind you what?
Yes, that's another
Do I
one.
need to
Yeah.
remind you what
That
they
helped
got
them a
in
lot.
return for DeMarre Carroll? I mean, what they got in that DeMarre Carroll deal? They traded Justin Hamilton,
Right.
got DeMarre Carroll, a first round pick, and a second round pick.
But here's the thing. You have to acknowledge that they made other good moves. They got handed a knockout blow, a crippling blow that hindered their organizations because they hitched themselves to these older players. And the new front office that came, because that's an old front office, the new front office that came in has done a fantastic job of doing all these little moves to get them to the point where they could,
in so little time. Yeah.
in such little time. Right. And you got to give them credit for drafting competent players in the mid to late first round.
Who wins in a fight between Sean Marks and Danny Ainge?
Sean Marks.
Of course, this comes back to violence. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I put my money
That's
on
what
Sean.
I wanted to get to. No,
Danny's swinging and running. He's not sticking around.
Nah, he's not.
No, didn't he fight? What's his name? He had an NBA fight before.
Yeah, he must have been running. And
Oh,
hiding behind
are we
McHale or
talking
something.
about?
Yes, that one.
When he hit dude in the face in the inbound play. Wait, that when he was with Phoenix?
There was a couple.
Yeah,
I think there was a couple.
Phoenix where he got.
Danny Ainge got down. Sean Marks is just 7 feet, but not all 7 footers,
Yeah.
you know. But he also is
Not
from
all
New
7 footers have
Zealand.
the hands.
He's from New Zealand, so.
Zillion. Before we get out of here,
Same place as Israel Adesanya. They bang out there.
Yes, they do. we got to get into some hip hop before we get out of here.
Let's do it.
What are you listening to today, man? I see you got the Kid See Ghost.
I mean, that's
Kid Cudi Kanye.
Yeah,
hoodie on.
I've been bumping that a little bit. Actually, on the way over here, I was listening to Common. Some not old Common.
Oh, you're trying to mellow out?
Yeah, I had a nice ride on
Wait,
the subway.
what? I assumed you were listening to B.
I was.
That's Common's best album.
I was. Yes,
That's
yes.
a classic album.
You
I
mellow
love
out
that
when you
album.
listen to that album. You don't get hype.
Yeah.
You get hype when you listen to Finding Forever.
Which is not as good as
Well,
that.
it's funny. I listened,
Right.
I listened to the entire B album, which I started at Madison Square Garden last night.
R.I.P.
finished
Kanye
that
West.
off, and then I went to what is it? Dreamer the Believer? Oh, I'm probably getting that wrong.
The Dream of the Believer.
The Dream
That's
of the
the
Believer,
album
yeah.
after.
Oh, I like that.
No,
The-
not after.
After Finding
Is that
Forever.
the one with Blue Sky?
Yes. Yeah.
No, that's actually after
Yeah.
Universal Mind Control.
That's right. That was one in between. Yeah, you're right.
One
you're
of
right.
Dexter's
That one was
all-time
alright.
one of Dexter's all-time great Instagram posts
Which one?
was the first one after the birth of his daughter, where he used a quote from Blue
From
Sky.
the B. No, it was not from Blue Sky. You
Yes,
got
it
that
was
wrong.
from Blue
The intro
Sky.
from
No,
B?
it was not from Blue Sky.
It
It was
was
the intro from the B.
Yes.
Waiting
See,
for
I
the Lord
already
to
know.
rise to look into my daughter's eyes and
Yes.
realize I'm gonna change
He
the
said
world
that in
through
Blue
her.
Sky also.
No, he didn't.
I swear he did.
No, he did not.
He said, I swear
No,
he
he
did.
did not.
Wait, really?
No, he did not. I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed.
I'm getting my Common songs, man.
But
You
who
are.
else?
I'm
Who else?
ashamed
I'm going to
of
look
you.
up the lyrics while you continue to
recent
talk
rappers,
about Common.
I'm a huge Kendrick guy. J. Cole.
Yeah, me too.
Who else? I like who was I listening to? He just dropped the EP. Damn, I'm drawing a blank right now. Big. I like Big Mensa.
Yeah, I haven't
Mensa's
listened to that EP.
It's good.
I haven't listened to
Hooligans.
that,
Yeah,
but I like
it
Big
grew
Mensa.
on
No,
me.
he said something else about
Grew on
eyes.
me.
But it was close.
No, not even close.
He's like, I
I'm
don't
like,
even know why you
man.
looked that up.
Nah, you know, I'm glad you appreciated that Instagram post. Though. I do appreciate that.
I mean, Blue Sky would have made sense.
As soon
also.
as you said that about the birthday doll, I knew exactly the B intro. Like,
Yeah,
oh, man.
I'm not somebody that really post lyrics or quotes all the time,
Yeah.
but I had listened to it. I was listening to the album the day before my daughter was born, and it was really in my head, and I was just like, I had
This
this
is meant
picture.
to be.
I'm holding her, and I was like, it's dope. So
That's what's up.
yeah, it was good. Okay, so this is some
Yeah,
good
man.
stuff. Do you like that? We talked about this on extra that's going to come out, but do you like that new J. Cole single?
I love that new J. Cole single.
Mm-hmm.
What? I love that Kevin Durant referenced it before he played the Celtics last Saturday. That was good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they had like, the old Boston heads looking that song up. Like, what is the song that he's referencing?
That's the J. Cole
This
song.
is how he feels.
That's the J. Cole song that I replayed. I told you this. The J. Cole song I've replayed the most since I heard Fire Squad.
Yeah, you said that.
I agree
And I
with
like
that.
KOD.
Yo, I like for
I
days.
just
I
didn't
kept.
I just didn't replay
I
anything.
kept listening to that song, man. Like I couldn't stop listening to it. And then it's funny, from Gary Washburn from the Boston Globe.
Yeah.
Because we're always talking about, I'm like, yo, listen to these new rappers, man. J. Cole's my guy.
And he's a hip hop head.
He's a hip hop
I've talked to
head.
Gary about that a lot.
Yeah,
too.
he was like, yo, that new J. Cole, it's a pretty good song. It's a pretty good song. And that's the best you're gonna get out of Gary. Talking about new rap.
Yeah,
like,
that's why I know somebody's older than me. He's like, it's a pretty good song.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
I
it's pretty good.
love
I like
Gary.
it.
I know
I like
Gary.
it.
Gary's a hip hop head, so I know we gotta get him. We gotta get him on here. I gotta reach out.
You should, man. Gary's fun to talk to about, but it's funny, man. He won't give you the time of day, like the new stuff. I'm like, yo, trust me, man. Not all the new stuff is terrible. You just gotta do some digging. Let me put you
That's
on.
what we say.
But he wouldn't listen to me. But Kevin Durant brings up the song. He tuned right in right after Kevin Durant.
So
said
when I see Gary, I gotta talk to him about that. I've seen him. I gotta talk to him about that
Get
because
his head.
you're at that age because you're a 30-year-old and I'm 35, and sometimes you get the older hip hop heads who are like, nah, I'm not gonna listen to this. So I'm not
Right.
gonna. I tend to
They're
see that
stuck
from
in their
people
ways.
who's like a little bit older. They're like, nah, I'm not gonna do this, and they're very
like with a lot of
protective
things.
of their era. Or people will tell me they don't think Kendrick or Cole are good.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I've heard
what?
That. Yeah, I've heard that.
I'm like, what's wrong with y'all?
Yeah, I've heard people just don't like Kendrick's like flow. Not his flow,
voice.
I
His
can, but I
voice.
can,
A lot of people
I
don't
can
like
understand
his
people
voice.
don't like his voice.
Yeah.
I may
I'm like, listen
understand
to
that.
the content though. Like, it's fire.
I don't get that though. Like, I think some people are stuck in how things should sound all the time. I think you have to bring
I
it
agree.
lyrically.
J. Cole gets the boring thing also.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And Kendrick gets the voice thing.
Yo, I had to like go through my contact list trying to go to. I went to the J. Cole show when he came to Boston over the summer.
Yeah.
People were like, I only like a couple of his songs, so I'm good. I'm like, just you don't want to go to the show though? Like you don't want to just watch him perform? Like those couple songs you like, he might do them. Like you want to go watch? Nah, I'm good. It's like damn. Like people just don't. And then you have the J. Cole head. It's like, oh, that's their guy. Like it's either you love him or you're like, he's all right. There's no in between.
I love him. I think he's great. I don't
too.
understand how people say he's not exciting. I don't understand that. What are you looking forward to this year? I know we all have our albums we're looking forward to.
Bandana.
What are you looking for? Do you like Freddie Gibbs?
Freddie Gibbs is good. I like. I know that's your guy. That's your,
Everybody knows that's his guy.
that's your Jay-Z. That's your Biggie. That's your Tupac.
No.
Yes.
I don't even like never mind.
Yes.
He's like, I don't even like Jay-Z.
Yeah.
No. I like
got into
no.
it a little bit before.
I like Jay-Z. We were talking because Nick Medalinos tries to peg me as a Jay-Z.
See, I'm
So
looking
the Nas Jay-Z
See,
debate y'all
you-
had a couple
Oh, you
weeks
enjoyed
ago.
that?
That was great, man.
Nick,
I was in New York
Nick,
too.
Yeah.
Nick Medalinos, I'm gonna put him in an ankle lock. He tries to.
What?
He tries to. he tries to peg me as
Wrestler
a.
reference.
He tries to peg me as a Jay-Z hater just because I want to put some respect on Nas's discography.
I know that you aren't. I know that you aren't. Like I know this. Well, we've had many discussions.
All you
including that
Jay-Z
one.
fans, like I get it. Hard Knock Life was the shit.
No, but
whatever.
I like the conversation you two had because it's about the catalog. Because Nas has obviously an amazing catalog. Jay does too.
I was just calling for respect on Nas catalog.
Where do you stand? Where do you stand on that conversation?
I'm
You're the
with
first.
Jay, man. I just think Jay's catalog is untouchable. I mean, that's just me though. And you know, it's a great debate though because Nas albums are amazing. They're incredible. So it's really close. Nas is the closest. Nas is
I
easily
agree.
the closest.
Like I said,
agree.
Easily the closest.
But that's basically what I'm saying is that
Yeah.
it's not. People act like Jay-Z's catalog is way better, and I'm like, no, it's close.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Except for
It's-
you had Godson in there, right? No, I got
No,
Illmatic,
Godson's
Illmatic, Stillmatic, and It Was Written.
Those are your three.
Those are my three.
You're going with.
Yeah.
I think Godson's a really good album.
It's a really good album, but that's not my three.
My three was actually Illmatic, Stillmatic, and Life is Good.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
then
yeah.
you just had that last one.
And then
Okay.
Godson might be right after that, and then you got like Lost Tapes, and they
Yeah.
got two. They're the two best
Yeah.
in terms of
I
discography,
agree. I
bodies
think-
of work. Some people want to put Kanye there.
His first three albums are really good though.
No.
They're as good as a lot of people.
Right, but like
yeah.
after that, I mean,
I agree, and that counts. That matters.
Yeah, Kanye is really interesting one. That's
some people will put Tupac up there.
Look.
Some people put Eminem up there.
I think Jay and Nas were the greats of what they did for their generation and what I listened to growing up. And I think Kendrick and Cole are doing that right now.
Right.
I think
Kendrick is getting there.
I think they're the two. I mean, I already have Kendrick in my top five. So
No, but what I'm saying, he's
Top
getting
five
to
dead alive, huh?
yes,
he's getting
yes,
closer to
Damn.
that Jay-Z
Yes.
Nas. He's
yes.
getting closer.
His first two albums are as good as anybody's.
What about Damn? I love Damn.
Not as much as I like Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly.
but here's the thing.
I see,
I
you're-
say
I love To Pimp a Butterfly, but
I say
I
first
don't know. I
three.
think I like Damn better.
I think a lot of people do because it was the more commercial sounding of the three albums.
Yeah.
What was?
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Not To Pimp a Butterfly.
No, but I include
that's probably his
Section
most
80.
commercial one,
I
yeah.
include Section 80.
Yeah,
so
Section
then
80
when I'm
hard.
doing people's first three albums, I'm including Section 80 and then putting Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly, and you could put that against.
Well, if you want to
Just
take all
about
four, they're as good as anybody's.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Section
If
80
you-
counts because that's how I was introduced to him. That's how a lot of people were, and that was an album. It was independent, but that was still an album that came
Right.
out.
Yeah, it still counts.
It's
you
still,
know?
yeah. No,
And Section 80 is phenomenal.
there's no doubt. What are you looking forward to seeing drop this year? What do you want to see? Who do you want to see
I
come out this year?
mean, I would love a new Kendrick album. I don't know
Yes.
if that's even coming,
think
but
it-
he's due, right? It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, we need that.
Who
Yeah,
else?
it's been 2 years.
I was just saying, my boy the other day, we were just chilling. He was like, "Yo, we need the album."
I guess it's just him and Cole, man. I don't know. I need some new rappers, man. I do. I
I
feel like I'm listening to
I'm
the same
with-
heads.
I'm intrigued for new Joey Badass project.
I think he's due.
okay.
His last one was 2 years ago. Also,
I want a new Common project.
you
We
know,
talked about
you
him.
know, you know what album was?
I wasn't crazy about his last album.
You know
so
what?
that
Me
would be
neither.
No, I wasn't. There's some songs, but
You know what
one
album
before
wasn't
that
terrible?
wasn't bad.
You know what album wasn't terrible that I've recently heard because of Melvin, who we had on this podcast? Jaden Smith's.
That wasn't bad actually. It took me. It took me a while to finally listen to it because people kept talking about it.
See, I feel like I'm about to get in the Gary Washburn mode of being like,
yeah.
Oh, y'all know I'm gonna try that.
Like, that's a little too young.
No. But when somebody says something's good, I'm at least gonna try it.
I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna like bump the hell out of it all year long type of thing. Right. But he can rap. You
Okay,
know
that's
I mean?
interesting because I would go into it not taking him seriously.
Right.
But I don't want to go in and listen to it like that. I want to go with
him being a Smith. Him being a Smith is hard for people to take him seriously because he's Will Smith's son. So people would think whatever. Like, what are you rapping about? Your life's been great. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
what kind of struggles have you faced?
Honestly, that's how people on the outside looking in are with
no
that.
Doubt.
But I actually think he can rap. It's very short too. Let me actually see. The project is very short.
What do you think of Kid Cudi?
I've liked Kid Cudi.
I love bringing up Kid Cudi because ever since he dropped the album with Kanye, people were just like, "Oh,
but I didn't.
Where's this dude been?" I'm like,
36 minutes. That album.
I like
Jada
that.
Smith.
Like
11 songs, 36 minutes. There's one 6-minute song and another one that's close to 6 minutes, and there's a bunch of songs that are less than 2 minutes. But still.
Okay, I might have to check that out. Kid Cudi, I've liked his music over the years. I think he's really talented. I did not listen to the Kid See Ghost project with Kanye.
Wow. What?
Oh yeah, Cudi's your guy,
yeah,
right? I'm not a big Kid Cudi guy.
I like Kid Cudi personally. Like, what was
so what? Why did you not listen to Kid See Ghost?
Kanye.
Because Kanye. And I'm off that Kanye.
You're on the boycott, the Kanye boycott. You're on that?
I can't rock with him, man.
Oh, come on, man.
I can't rock with him. Here's the thing, though.
There's some artists
that
I
listened to. I did listen to Daytona.
Daytona was fire.
Which I thought
one of the best albums of the year.
And I thought Kanye's production on that was definitely bumping.
Throughout that 5 album, that was easily his production-wise, easily his best one.
Maybe I'll give the Kid See Ghost. I do like Cudi. I liked Cudi's.
He's gonna come in here with a hoodie next week.
He's
gonna be like,
I don't know about that.
Josue put me on.
I might come with a cross out to Kanye.
Damn.
I did like what was the song he did with the Waves joint he did with Pharrell.
Oh,
his work with Pharrell. I'd like to see Cudi and Pharrell do some more work.
Yeah,
I thought
that
they
song
had a
was
good vibe
dope.
together.
That album was a good album.
That album was a good album.
He had Andre on there. Three Stacks had a couple. Okay, so you know Cudi.
I listened to the album. Yeah, that album was a good album.
Yo, a lot of people don't even know that album existed. Everyone's like, "Oh, the Day and Night Dude." I'm like, "Come on."
Nah, man, Day and Night years ago.
Yeah,
which is also a good project.
I gotta listen to the Boogie project still.
When people say the Day and Night Dude, man, that just. Oh man,
you just like they haven't listened to anything.
It's like you don't even know.
I'm looking at the list of stuff that came out in January, and it sucks.
Yeah, there's not much.
Like other than Boogie, there's probably not much. I'm really.
That's why I have the J. Cole song on repeat, man. That's all we got. Right?
Yeah, honestly,
middle child's knocking.
All right, I'm looking forward to that Dreamville project though, and then February is
all those dudes can spit, man.
February, you have look at this.
Dreamville
you have Lil Pump, that Harvard Dropout album I told you about in August is gonna come out in February.
Okay.
Snoop Dogg is dropping an album. Not listening to that. No offense. But like. Snoop Dogg in 2019, I'm good. Offset.
Yo, he dropped like 3 albums last year.
Smith and Wesson. Really? Oh. Yes. Insane Clown Posse.
No.
Can't believe you even said it.
Ghostface Killer. That's interesting. With Czarface.
He had that Lost Tapes joint. What was it? Over the summer?
Yeah. That's for another podcast.
There's a Culture 3? Oh, God.
Songs.
The culture needs to stop. The culture doesn't need Culture 3.
They don't stop, man.
They suck.
I know.
Honestly,
I know. And every album
sucks.
They have the audacity to have 28 tracks on each album. It's like, why do you do this?
Of the same thing over and over. So this is what I'm looking forward to.
Is that it? Is that it for February?
Yeah. Damn. I don't know who the Dirtball is.
Do we have anything for March?
Compton's Most Wanted, Mad Child.
My boy Justin be
there's a lot of
people know nothing.
No, we didn't talk about anything.
There's a lot of TBA, and one of them is by DMX. That's how you have to know we're going. He's fresh out. I'm sure he's dropping something.
He just came out. Too.
Cardi B is allegedly going to drop something. 2 Chainz might be interesting. 2 Chainz might actually be interesting.
2 Chainz would be interesting for the features.
Joyner Lucas and Chris Brown.
What?
Collaboration called Angels and Demons?
Hey.
Well, Chris Brown got some demons he's fighting right now. That's a whole other story.
Dream Chasers 5. Sway Lee. Run the Jewels 4. I'll listen to that. I'll listen to Run the Jewels 4.
I gotta watch the show. You watch the Sky's show?
I just started it last night. I heard
it's really good.
I just started last night. Actually, the first episode is really good. We'll talk about it.
Killer Mike's?
Killer Mike show.
Yeah, he was talking about it on Rogan's thing.
He did a good thing about trying to like support black businesses for like a whole 3 days. It was interesting.
That's my guy, man.
Sky Zoo and Pete Rock. Forgot about that. We mentioned that last episode.
Does that have a date? Does that have a date?
It doesn't.
Okay. But so basically, February and March.
We can bring Sky Zoo back on a podcast to talk about it.
Basically, February and March suck.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
it looks like the year is probably gonna. Well, we don't know.
You know what was a slept-on album? The joint album with Styles P and
Davies.
Yes.
Yeah, solid.
Yo,
It was
that
solid.
album was solid.
Yeah,
Actually, I think you
That
guys talked
album
about
was
that. We guys
solid.
talked about the best
Love
albums of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid.
I'm glad y'all
You
shot that
mentioned
out.
that, yeah.
It's solid. The album was
That
solid.
album was
Like the back and
unexpectedly
forth
good.
between those
Yeah.
two, the chemistry.
Yeah, it
on
was.
point.
I was impressed with it. Yeah.
And I didn't know a whole lot about Dave East going into the album, but he impressed me.
And then there's also Ray Shremmerd, Sway Lee, and then T-Pain and Bandana.
This year does not excite me. Kendrick Cole, please save it.
Hey, that's what it is,
Joey
man.
Dadass, you can come through.
We need them.
Freddie Gibbs, Madlib.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that's going to save the year for me, but it will make your year. That's for sure.
You think we'll see a J album?
You're a hater.
Probably next year.
Nah.
2020.
I don't think so.
Oh,
We could.
I'd like one.
It's gonna be real.
How
about
well,
this?
I want a
It's gonna
Nas
be
album too.
politically
How about
motivated
this?
too.
I was gonna
if had
say
to
that
guess.
if this dude gets reelected,
Yeah.
then Jay's coming with an album.
Right. And you know he's not gonna make an announcement. It's just gonna be in your phone one day
It's gonna be the day after election day.
with the flag upside down. or
I
some shit.
love
That's gonna be the cover art.
I love 444.
You better be careful. You at
I hope-
WEEI.
I hope. Yeah. Oh God.
That's a joke. That's a joke, Boston. I'm kidding.
No,
All
he's
right?
not. No,
I'm
he's
kidding.
not. All right, we got to get out of. We got to get out
Yeah,
of
I'm about
here.
to get a cease and assist. No, I'm just-
You'll be all right, right?
cease and assist.
I hope so.
You'll be all right with
Yeah, I'll
the.
be all right.
You'll be all right with
Come
the joke,
on, man.
Because I'm the one making the jokes.
Hey,
Yeah, he's just laughing.
I'm out here. No, man. I said what I said at the beginning. I stand by what I said at the beginning.
There we go. We like that's what
I'm trying to change
that's
things
what Kyrie
over
would
at
do.
EEI.
Yeah.
You don't own
That's what
anybody.
Kyrie would
Kyrie's
do,
like, Joe Josue's like, I don't owe anybody shit. I said that now, Josue.
One more album for you, 2019. Ski Mask, The Slump God.
Yeah, let's pick numbers for this episode. It's episode 64. We got to pick some numbers and get out of here.
Terrible list.
Terrible.
Elmer Descends starts it off. So if you know about the artwork, right? We don't got to explain it to you. Where we put the athlete. We put the athlete on the artwork because like it's episode 64, so we pick an athlete that wore 64 to put on the artwork for the
Oh,
episode.
that's right. Okay.
So you've probably seen that before. 64 is terrible. Not a lot of good athletes have wore 64.
64.
Elmer Descends, reliever for the Mets. Okay, moving on. You're not picking that. Jose Reyes stole 64 bases in 2006. You're not with it?
Oh, okay.
I love Jose.
Yeah, man.
I'm thinking about
That's my
this.
guy.
I may make an exception for this.
He
one.
led the league too, and that was the last year. That was not the last year, but the Mets made it to the NLCS.
Yo, I caught a Mets game a couple years back, man. Great stadium. That was a good time.
Thank you.
Mets,
City feels
Mets
nice.
against the
City
Sox.
feels nice.
City feels
Yeah,
nice.
it was good.
Matt Prater, longest field goal, 64 yards.
Okay.
I'm sorry, man. I tried. 64 is terrible.
Keep going.
Like,
Keep going.
Randall McDaniel, offensive lineman, I think.
No.
Pro Bowler, Hall of Famer, I think. Michael Jordan career high versus the Magic.
This is awful.
January '93.
Against
I
the
told you.
Magic?
Yeah. Against Shaq and Penny. No, wait.
Nope.
Just Shaq.
Just
Just
Shaq.
Shaq.
No penny.
Yeah. That's why. If Penny was there, it would have been 58. Jeff Hardings.
Nope.
I don't know who that is. Jack Reynolds. Tom Raftery and Zach Streif. I told you, man. I tried. I'm going with Jose Reyes,
Yeah,
man.
I go with Jose Reyes.
I'm going with
Reyes
Jose
by a
Reyes.
landslide.
It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Plus-
I warned you. Once we get into the 60s, it's gonna be bad because all it's gonna be is offensive linemen because
Plus-
no one in NBA history wears numbers in the 60s like that.
Which is disappointing.
Yeah,
Plus,
it's an ugly number.
Jose Reyes, Latino. We had a Latino guest.
Yeah,
Let's
perfect,
represent.
Perfect.
Oh, word.
Let's represent.
And I like
There you go.
him.
There
I
you
like
go.
him. I
And
like
you
him.
like him. So it's
All
good.
right, so-
Hey, Josue,
Yo.
thank you so much.
Yo, thanks for having me, man. This was
One
fun.
last question for you before we get out of here
What's
is
up?
simply Celtics fans are going to want to know.
What's good?
Celtics are now on pace to do what a lot of people thought they would do, win 65 games. Are they going to make it to the finals? Are they going to win the whole thing? What's going to happen with the Celtics this year?
Ooh.
What are the Celtics going to do?
But they're not gonna get 64 wins. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, we know that.
They don't even get 60. But I
Right.
do think they'll come out of the East
Okay.
and bow out against the Warriors.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
That's
Okay.
your prediction.
They'll
Okay.
bow out against the Warriors.
Will you be
But it's
back-
gonna be a fun ride.
Will you be back when they play Brooklyn,
I will actually. Yeah, March 30th, right? Yeah,
March 30th?
yeah. I'll be here.
We have to bring you back on.
Yo, let's do it.
All right, man.
I'm down, man. I'll be around. It's a weekend game too. It's a Saturday game. So
Oh,
I'll
Saturday
be here
game.
for the weekend.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
that's cool. That's
All
cool.
right,
That's
make
cool.
that happen.
And for people who don't know, Josue did a great thing because he brought his boy who's here sitting watching this in studio.
Oh, that's right. Y'all
And
hit it
I
off.
found out he's from Flatbush and he's from Grenada.
Yeah.
That's two
So
for two
it was
right
great.
there.
The vibes was real. I just
Yeah.
knew as soon as he came.
Yeah,
in the
you
door.
hugged him.
He jumped up out of his chair.
It's a Spice Brothers, so I gotta hug him. We gotta do it.
It's my boy Justin Abuser, man. Every time I come out here, I'm with him. I'm rocking.
Yeah, so he came and he watched the episode. He hung out here, so it was all good. All right, Glenn, that is Josue Pavon.
That's right.
You like that? Like I said
go.
it there.
There you go.
From WEEI and WEEI, we don't want any problems at all. We love you. He's a Celtics beat reporter for WEEI. Man, thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
Guys. Do this
We
again.
appreciate it. Once again, that's episode 64 for Josue Pavon, Bryan Fonseca, and Dexter Henry, whose name doesn't sound as Latino. That's it. Until next time, y'all. Peace.